About to get spicy. Oh, we're live on that line. So, man, what a crazy random happenstance.
Where did my
Talk about changes in temperature, by the way, chat. Don't get your mind out of the gutter. So, hello and welcome to another episode of Neverember's Enigma, where we don't have a crew name yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Our heisters, our fun little thieves in the dark, I don't know, good people with sticky fingers.
These guys.
These guys. Them's
That's our
over
crew
there.
name. We're these guys.
Oh, curse these guys. You know what? I can get into that. Are about to continue to embark on more of their, well, mystery solving, right? But before we get into it, let's talk about why we're here. We're here to raise money for charity. We completed our last fundraiser, so thank you everyone who donated for that all across Hasmus. And now it's hashtag New Year, New Charity. We are now fundraising for Doctors Without Borders. So if you want to donate to the stream, there's of course a donation link on the page itself, or you can just hit tack donate into the chat, and boom, there's the link for you as well. It's a great thing because it's a great cause to support, and of course, every time somebody donates, the party gets a advantage point that they can burn later in the game, which could be critical or just fun. But regardless, let's introduce our party and then get into the action. I'm gonna roll a d4 because we've just been doing this in a random order, and that's fun for me because chaos is good. So 4, Julia. Boom.
Okay. Hello, I'm Julia, and tonight I'm going to be playing Lavinia Hale, who is a half-elf celestial warlock. She has one arm. She's very self-conscious about it. She's a member of the City Watch. She's working on all the cold cases right now, and she's just trying to make friends with these other adults she lives with, which is very hard. It's very hard to make friends as an adult, especially with your roommates who all don't like you.
Well, real talk. JD.
Listen, Riv likes Lavinia. I could have said that so much more convincingly. It's fine. Hi, I'm JD.
Dude, aren't you an actor? You're an actor?
No.
No,
Stage
they
crew.
do stage crew.
Oh, you're right.
What is stage crew but acting in the dark? Like everything's fine. Acting like everything's fine.
It's true. But yes, I play Riv, and they're just they're not an actor. They're not an actor. You will never see them on stage. Or will you?
Ooh.
Who knows? But they're a normal human rogue.
Yeah, I buy that. All right, Bedlam. Got you yelling.
Normal human rogue, yeah. So hi, I am Bedlam. I am playing Brindle, who is a normal half-elf farmer. Or at least was a semi-normal half-elf farmer before coming to the city and finding his mother's long-lost family, who's put him to work doing shady things that he's not entirely on board with, but he's very loyal to the family, and he's just trying to get by day to day. Not above taking bribes, as we found out, but, he doesn't know what the bribe is about, so everything's fine. And also on the, likes Lavinia train, but is unsure about how Lavinia might take him helping out his family. That's an awkward situation, you have to admit. So anyway, yes, we're going to find out more about Brindle as the night goes on.
Heck yeah. Della.
Hi, I am Della, and I will be playing Bee, who is a completely normal gnomish wizard. And she likes Lavinia fine. She thinks Lavinia's great. Actually, she thinks pretty much everybody is great. All of her roommates are actually pretty A+ to her. She is currently feeling kind of awkward because of the whole stalking Riv incident. But that she's blaming a lot of that on Volo's influence. And she's sure that's not going to happen again. As she and Volo continue to work together on the publication of his next book.
Adventures out there. All right, and I guess me. Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm the storyteller. I just did a bunch of stuff and threw it together, and now we're in this game of heists and mysteries. So hopefully, it's satisfying, fun, and a little intriguing. That's all I got. I got the easiest job here. I just got to sit back and watch the chaos. Speaking of little chaos, '18 chess, right? Chill morning for some people, right? People catching up on some admin work. A warehouse was robbed in the night. There was a potential mugging that was
just
de-escalated.
fucking grip it, baby.
I'm being yelled at by the McElroys and can't hear a single word I'm saying.
Dude, crack one for the big boy.
Incredible timing. Thank you for the donation. Let's get that counter. Oh no. I know I turned you on. All right, tally mark. That might be an actual stream problem. 9 on the counter. Keep me honest if I forget it. As everyone returned from a night out at the Yawning Portal celebrating Volo's new book, we spin away from that to a dawn over Waterdeep. A still quiet time as the sun slowly peaks over Waterdeep Castle, kind of letting up the beautiful architecture, right? The various metals and polished stones of the city glint in the morning sunlight. And inside, well, a very deliberate basement area. We see 3 figures. One figure deep pale skin, blood red eyes, strange, call them horns or growths coming from their head, right? Almost passing for something human, but we know it's not. There's something darker there. Tied to this chair, very deliberately, very carefully, with heavy chains. Chains that glow with a slight holy aura. In this room, we see 2 other figures wearing long white cloaks that cover full plate mail. And they're both staring at this thing. Sorry, something's happening with my stream real quick. Okay. The figure in the chair just spits some blood on this marbled floor that sizzles when it impacts. He says, "You do your worst. I will betray my master. You just wait, the city is ours. And you stop me. The whole legion where I come from." And the older of the 2 in the cloaks stands there with his arms crossed, says, "You will not corrupt this city. There are good people here. They will not fall prey to your influence. Send more. We'll find you. We always have, and we always will. Now, last chance. You want to take anything, say anything that could potentially redeem your actions here. Tell us who summoned you. And the devil just laughs. It says, well, you're powerless here. Even if you kill me, that's nothing. I'll simply return. And two men in the cloaks exchange glances. And the younger one stands up swiftly, reaches out, and plants a hand on the devil's chest and burns a golden sigil of light into his skin and says, "Oh, we know you'll return. We're counting on it." And the second one turns around and produces from under his cloak a warhammer, and we see for a moment on the hilt a sigil of balanced scales as it glows with holy light and smashes into this tied up devil, who shrieks and disappears into a pillar of golden light, leaving the slightest bit of sulfur and ash behind. In the silence, the two men stand there for a moment. The younger one saying, "I haven't seen this type of infernal infestation in quite some time." The older one says, "Yes. Something's very, very wrong in this city right now. Don't lose hope. We're here to find it." And we cut away. Back to a lovely morning. Where Brindle is, of course, catching up with Jerome Goth, after a warehouse incident, right? Where apparently the Wallflower warehouse was robbed overnight. Who knows who it could be, but Brindle, a very honest member of the Grocers Guild, has been sent there to help on guild business. And of course, Lavinia, given an opportunity to be off of death duty for a little bit, has gone to take the report. And my door has just been kicked in by my dog.
Alas. Alas, just busted in.
And then leaves. just as a sign of dominance.
Just to prove that no locked door is safe.
Da, 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 da. I'm out. Oh shoot. And now I'm tangled in my chair. Oh god, it's all falling apart. Oh.
See, this is all part of our plan. The actual heist game is to break into Andy's house and steal his stuff.
His notes. It's actually all of his notes.
We're going to steal all his notes.
We're going to steal the plot.
Yeah.
Oh, steal the plot. That's good. That's good. All right, game on. So, but Brindle and Lavinia working together at this Wallflower warehouse, trying to figure out who could have done such a thing. Who would steal all these barrels of different produce that were brought into the city? And just the other night, when all of you were down in this district for dates or long walks to clear your head or to stalk your friends, or in Lavinia's case, to go home and argue a little bit on the way with a warlock patron. What a crazy night. But as Brindle and Lavinia are finishing up. Damn chat. Chat's coming from inside the house. As they're finishing up their kind of whirlwind of a morning, well, B and Riv also had some business to take care of. So we go across the city to the council ward, over to Blackstaff Academy. Where B is busy with her day job. Thank you. Thank you. I don't deserve that laugh. That was terrible. B, what you doing?
B is probably at this point in the middle of teaching a lecture to undergrads. This is probably one of the it's the class she's teaching is an introduction to material component theory. So it's basically the idea of why do we need them? What are they for? How do you identify a thing that is an appropriate material component? And sort of the theory behind that specific piece of magic. This is one of those classes that people tend to take as kind of like a filler for their schedule. It's one of those things that even like lay people can take. It's a 101 level class. It's not super interesting, which is why they let a first year grad student teach it and not having a professor. Yes, exactly. Bat guano. Why though? In this case, what the spell is going to be is I actually have it right here. Is she's lecturing on minor illusion, and so the spell component she's going to be using is a bit of fleece, and I happen to have quite a lot of that right behind me on my distaff right here. So if everybody wants to see what that is,
it's like
that's
all
what
the
it would look
desks
like.
kind of
You can't
creak
see
as
it.
people are like looking.
Yeah, so there you go. That's so yeah, I have some here, but I felted it because I was worrying with it today at work. So this was a nice bit of fleece, but now I made it into blebs. Moving on. Yeah, so yeah, she's lecturing on that and sort of explaining like how the history of the spell components and so on and so forth. It's pretty she's trying to make it interesting, but it's pretty dry basic stuff. This is the this is like not even Psych 101. This is like intro to geometry. Like this is really basic stuff for magic, and it's not something a lot of people are really ever going to need. There's not a lot of practical application for knowing the theory of this. Most people just have to know like that you need a bit of fleece to cast minor illusion.
See like a hand go up in the back of the class.
Yes. Jeffrey?
Yeah, that's me. Hi. Hey, you wrote my name. That's really cool. Miss Bobler, if you're doing more advanced illusionary magic, something beyond like a minor illusion, do the components get more difficult or more expensive as you increase in power for like say something like around the like lower tier spells or mid tier spells?
Frequently they do, and that's part of why when we talk about spells having levels, we think of these things as having levels, but there's not actually all that much more complicated about the actual practical application of these spells. It's simply harder to get a hold of the of the material components. That is an aspect of what makes certain spells harder, is accessing those components.
Mm.
So, for example, there are higher level illusion spells that do involve kind of exotic materials. For example, your basic illusion spell, not illusion spell, excuse me, invisibility spell, which everybody enjoys. That
They all
involves
nod enthusiastically.
an eyelash, which is relatively easy to find, correct? But it has to be encased in. She doesn't hesitate. I hesitate. It does, in fact, have to be actually encased in gum arabic, which is a type of amber. If you don't have that, you're able to cast it's not going to work quite as well, or it may not work at all. Tricking reality into doing what you want means occasionally invoking these specific rules, and we have to have these items in order to trick reality into doing what we want. Part of this has to do with greater resonance theory. And then she goes off into a lecture about introducing greater resonance theory and what that means and why it's important. And there is a brief aside into what greater resonance theory means for architecture, for her own research studies. And a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, the grad student's gone off and talked about her
Mm-hmm.
her specialty area. This is
The
this is what we're here for.
the bell finally rings after a pretty. You know what? Hey, if you want to go ahead and roll I'll take persuade or perform if you want to see just like how engaging this lecture was. If you don't, that's fine. I'm just curious.
Sure. We'll see how well she can get into it. Those are both charisma. Not her dump stat, but not her dump stat. That's a 12.
Okay. You know what? Most of the class hangs on. There are a couple in the back who you see start to just face plant onto the desk, but you get about 80% of the class engaged, asking questions, and that's a good feeling.
All right.
You know, that's pretty nice. Bell rings, everyone kind of starts to scatter. You know, Jeffrey stops by and is like, "Oh, thanks for the explanation. That was really cool. I'm thinking about signing up for some more classes, so hopefully I'll see you around."
Absolutely. Yep, I'm here.
And as everyone kind of filters out, walking in comes one of the illusionary specialists at Blackstaff Academy, who is kind of in charge of this whole education track, right? Uh, the name is Karis Corbett,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, walking in a really very nicely cut female style suit with a dark gray with golden accents, with a just couple cool ring sigils and a necklace with also another arcane symbol on it as well, and just these very cool glasses that kind of change color based on lighting or mood. You haven't quite figured out what exactly, but they'll change the tint. It could just be an illusion. Who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm.
They come in. They're just like, "Hey,
Morning, Professor."
Morning. That was a great lecture. And I caught the tail end of it, and I don't usually see that much engagement from the students. It's material components can be kind of a rough class to get through, but they seem to really enjoy it.
I got a good group this semester. Next semester I I can give the exact same lecture at the exact same time, and in the exact same intonation, and they would all be asleep. So, they're good kids.
Hmm. Well, Oh, is that really? Oh, it is.
Karis Corbett multipass.
Multipass. That's funny.
My problem is, well, never mind.
So thank you, name generator.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, what brings you? What brings you this side of the building?
oh, just honestly, just checking out on the lectures, right? I trust everyone to be doing the right thing here, but obviously that includes me doing the right thing as well and checking on everybody to make sure that everything is running smooth, right? And the last thing I'd want to do is, leave someone to teach a lecture and not have any staff assistance if something went wrong, right? So, but you were fine, right? I'm just doing my job to make sure that you have everything you need. And hey, if you
course.
ever ever want to learn more about illusionary stuff, I know you're kind of there's no track, right? I mean, illusions are always my door's always open. My point.
I'd be very interested in that. Illusions. You know, my specialty is in architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Or that was my specialty previously. Illusions are very frequently used in a large number of architectural features, both as decoration and, of course, as like methods of hiding, things in various places. So I would absolutely love. I think our my track and your teaching, they're actually very very similar to one another. I would very much like to learn more from you.
Oh, well, in that case, if you'd like to meet up later, we can talk more about that.
That would be fantastic. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
I got a couple research things I need to check on, but if you want to swing by around 5, we'll keep it short. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but we can just talk through a couple ideas and see if there's anything I can kind of assist you with, and then if anything catches your eye or intrigues you, we can talk more about it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Andy, out of character. When were we going to be meeting up again?
You all said around noon, so this is like later in the day, and this would be a quick like. This is a let's meet up at the coffee machine and have a 15-minute conversation about like
Yeah,
work stuff.
this is let's get coffee in the break room, not a like not a big not a whole big thing like it was with Volo.
Correct. Yeah, it's not going to take up too much of your time, and it's not going to conflict with anything you have going on right now.
Okay.
Um,
Depending on what happens at noon, of course, which might conflict, but that's out of character knowledge.
it's true.
Um,
Um, one of the other staff members pokes a head into the building and says, "Hey, Professor Corbett, do you have a second?" And they look at you and they're like, I'll catch you later." And they
Absolutely.
kind of just start talking back and forth real quick. As you're leaving, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. Yeah, I am snooping. I'm extremely snooping. I'm not even necessarily hiding
Just
that I'm
like
snooping.
lingering by the door, like slowly gathering your things,
Yeah, it's
dropping some
mostly
stuff.
slowly gathering my things, not in a hurry to leave, but
Hmm.
also not trying to make it obvious, but I'm not exactly hiding that I'm interested in what they're saying. Balls. Can I use one of those floating advantages?
Absolutely, it saves me from having to put it on the display.
Thank you.
Now we're at a right and honest 8.
Wonderful. Fuck you, dice. Went from I went from a 4, which would have given me a total of 6, to an 8, which gives me a total of 10.
Okay.
So,
Still upwards.
it's upwards. It's
So
doubled. Well,
It,
the first number is doubled.
okay, that's fun. Just write something down. Okay, so you gotta take your time packing your stuff and to get out, and you see, you recognize this other person vaguely, right? You don't know them by name, but you know that the Blackstaff Tower Academy does have comm security, right? They have people that like are responsible for a lot of things in case
Public
something
safety.
goes. Yeah,
They're public safety.
100%. Right. But you also know the public safety here are usually pretty well trained wizards who respond to, if something explodes or if crazy stuff happens here at this volatile research academy. Right.
This one named Gabriel, by any
Uh,
chance?
no, this one is actually, well, you wouldn't
No
know their
one
name.
know.
Sorry, sorry, JD. No, Andy, I was just saying that to make JD upset.
Oh,
It's a
Psychic
reference.
it worked.
damage.
Actually, you know what? No.
Yeah.
But they're talking, and you can identify them because usually they're wearing like black robes with red accents. That tends to be the standard look there. But you hear Professor Corbett say, "Oh, well, no, of course. If the black staff wants to speak with me, I absolutely have all the time in the world for him. Me let me just go back to the office and make sure a couple things are running fine, and then I'll get there as soon as possible." And the public safety just says, "This is very time sensitive. We need to go right now." And Professor Corbett says, "Okay, if it's that important, then let's go get this taken care of. I do have a schedule to keep after all." And then follows the security out the door. Um, what do you do?
I'll probably go to the next thing I have to do, probably go to the library to do my own research and studying for my own projects. And while I am there, gossip shamelessly about uh, uh, everything.
Everything? Okay.
Everything.
As you're leaving the classroom, you can see that Professor Corbett has started making their way down the hall. Um, Security officers lingered back a little bit. You see, he's like a kind of not tall, but like built like a rectangle individual with someone who looks like they have like multiple like probably they've taken multiple hits to the face that are not necessarily all bludgeoning, but and some of them have been healed magically, but have still left a bit of um, a residue or scar, right? And he just kind of looks back at you and goes, "Just so you know, that conversation was for Professor Corbett and I, so whatever you heard, don't worry about it."
Okay.
Good. And turns and walks off.
I gossip about everything else.
Fair enough. Next, so do you gossip about that incident?
That incident, no. I think where she does talk, she does sort of gossip about all the things she saw at Volo's book signing, and she does talk about seeing, who was it that I saw running the fuck out of the building? Was that the Blackstaff?
That was a black staff.
That was the Blackstaff. She
Doing the corporate CEO, like I need to get somewhere, but me running would be a bad thing. So I'm just panic walking, but making it look like I'm composed. Yeah.
Yeah, she will not so much gossip about that, but try to find out what the gossip is about that. Um, she's kind of going around and just sort of being like, "What's the rumor mill have to say around here?"
Roll investigate.
Sweet.
As you kind of like go into a couple different areas and talking to people to see what's up.
Okay. That's an 18.
18. Okay. You talked to a couple of different colleagues, and no one's sure exactly what happened, but a couple other people did see him make that panicked exit. One of them overheard that, the last thing he was doing, he got ascending.
Mm.
Um, Sounded pretty urgent, and I don't want to spread too many rumors around, but it's one of those, you're talking to one of those students that's like been a grad student for about 8 years now. And is like, hey, I remember when Lady Silverhand taught here, and it sounded a lot like her.
Oh.
I mean, hopefully everything's all right in their life, but takes a lot to get him kind of riled up.
Well, maybe it's happy news. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's
Yeah,
always good. Yeah, good news of some type.
yeah, yeah, there's a possibility.
Oh,
You know,
for B's character, you would know this. So Kelvin Arunson, the Blackstaff, uh, is married to Lady Silverhand.
yes.
So they
Yes.
they are married.
They are married.
They were both running the school together, and then she took the position of Open Lord of Waterdeep, and he took the position of Blackstaff of the school,
Yeah.
the academy.
Yeah.
I saw Julia's comment. It's like, actually,
Yeah.
um,
So B is very specifically saying like maybe it's happy news, maybe she's pregnant. I don't know.
yeah, that could be great.
That could be that.
And a little,
Some people find that to be happy news.
yeah, a little mini arch magi running around. That could be fun in the right conditions. Terrifying maybe, but fun.
Trying to imagine them parenting.
It's got to be a lot easier when you can cast silence.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Protection from chaos.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What's the one that reduces bludgeoning damage from things? Yeah, that's critical.
Oh jeez.
Stuff just falls on the kid. And of course,
I'm actually thinking of all the times my child just straight has punched me.
Featherfall, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just evolves into like, everyone kind of just making jokes about like silly spells that would actually probably keep a kid alive very, very well.
Yes. Keep a kid alive. Keep parents sane.
Keep parents sane,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's interesting, right? An interesting little tidbit.
Okay.
Then kind of swing by the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Silas is in there. Walking in, he straightens up and like brushes his jacket off, and like you'd see like there's a page stuck to his face. Sorry, it's just late night. Not used to staying out that late with the. It was a great time. I just usually I'm in bed by 9, so kind of much later for me. And those Waterdeep bombers are, well, they're a lot.
Did you have one?
I felt it would be rude to say no.
Silas, you sullied your perfect form with liquor?
Well, I mean, I watered it down dramatically. It was probably like 3/4 water, 1/4 whatever the hell was in there. But whew, man, I am hung over.
I'll bet. Would you like me to get you some coffee from the break room? I know you don't usually do stimulants, or maybe some green tea.
Yeah, if you have anything non-caffeinated, please.
Of course, I'll get you a nice tisane.
But yeah, Silas is in there just trying to recover from last night, but has a bunch of books out and is back to work on magical architecture theory, trying to find more information for uh, your trip to the City of the Dead. Volo did only mention he got 2 passes,
Yeah, I'm not.
so just
I'm not telling Silas about that.
okay. So
Our we can. We're still frenemies.
fair enough.
Like, I'm gonna get him his herbal tea for his hangover that is almost certainly psychosomatic, and I'm not gonna let him know that I'm going to the City of the Dead.
Of course.
No.
Yeah, you bring back the tea. He thanks you profusely, and I think TV kind of start going in through the research. And after after about an hour or so of that, you realize like, oh, it's getting close to that 11 o'clock time where you said you meet everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
And at that point, I will sort of. I feel like it gets to a certain point where, as we're kind of talking, there hits a point where B doesn't understand something that Silas finds very simple, and he becomes extremely condescending.
very condescending, just rubbing the bridge of his nose, and you can't tell if he has a headache or if he's just exasperated. It's like
And,
it's such. Yeah.
and that's when she's just like, okay, I'm going elsewhere. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.
I do find a good walk is actually great to sit down and process some information. So, yeah, enjoy.
Thanks. Bye.
Enemies. Um, and you're on your way to meet the others.
All of our interactions have been so polite up until now. I feel like it was important to remind everyone that no, Silas sucks.
Silas, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Riv, you also have a free morning, right? You got some last minute rehearsals because Roberto is losing his mind at the idea that you miss a rehearsal and you have one more until opening night. If
Yep.
you had cell phones, you would just have a wall of notes that would have just been going for 24 hours straight. Luckily, you don't have that, so you can feel it coming. But you're not there yet. You have the whole morning to wake up, get your day together, and well, what do you want to do?
So Riv had a plan for this morning, but after the conversation with their roommates and some of the information that was dropped about what Brindle saw, uh, they want to contact Rainier using the sending stone that he gave them,
Okay.
and they're just going to send a message that effectively says, I had a wonderful time last night. I learned something about what happened. Could we meet for coffee?
Okay. About 5 minutes later, you get a message back, message back from the Rainier saying, "Absolutely. What time works best?"
And Riv names a time probably in about 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, I can be there. Whereabouts do you want to meet? You don't have to have a specific location. I'm just kind of like by the boarding house. You want to go up towards like the castle, or like do you not care? You just grabbing like a corner coffee place.
They want to choose a place where they're not going to draw a lot of attention. Whether that is somewhere that is very crowded That would be preferable.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple. Actually, close to you, there are a couple. Very. You said not that crowded or very crowded.
Very crowded, where we could
Okay.
just kind of get lost in the mix.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a coffee shop nearby where it tends to be a revolving door of people. Especially this early in the morning, people are coming in. It's a big business. People are throwing like a couple coins on the table, grabbing their coffee, rolling out. Some people are staying there for the morning and just like enjoying it. They have like outside seating, inside seating, but like at any given time, there's about 15 to 30 people like frequenting this area, and it's actually very close to the high road, which is a good thoroughfare of activity. So,
And so that will be the place that Riv names.
okay, yeah, you get there. About a minute later, Rainier shows up. Um, you know, different outfit from last night, right? It's got kind of a uh, more of a purple theme going this time around, with like some green accents uh, over like this nice like coat and pair of slacks that he has, and of course has his sword on his belt. Um, he walks in, sees you, and then kind of takes advantage of like a lull in the line, walks over to the bar, tosses tosses two copper on the bar, grabs two, or sorry, two nib on the bar, grabs two coffees and sits them down with you. Says, "Morning."
And Riv is very much dressed down compared to last night, both because of where they are headed with the rest of the boarding house crew, but also because of where they're headed in terms of the theater. So, all
Mm-hmm.
black, very simple clothes, though they have put on a bit of eye makeup, which anyone who was still at the boarding house might have realized came as an afterthought because they definitely ran back to their room to do that.
I love it. Yeah, he settles down and says, "Honestly, great to see you. How's the rest of your night?"
Fairly uneventful, for better or worse.
That's good. That's yeah, that's very good. I'll take uneventful to potential robbery any day.
And yours?
Simple. After uh, after I left, I just went home. Took a little longer. I kind of took a slightly different route just in case, but no issues.
I'm glad to hear that. I know you'd been pretty confident when we parted ways that you would be fine, but I was still worried.
Thank you. Um, got home safe and sound.
And I hope that we're able to keep it that way, Rainier. I've heard some things that I'm worried about.
Oh, like what?
I thought something was strange about the robbery, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but well, you saw how protective my friends are.
Yeah, you have good friends.
I
Oh,
do.
I like them. Yeah, they're a good bunch.
Well, one of them heard something. They they heard those guys talking about that attempted robbery. They were talking about your necklace.
Okay. Like, oh, what'd they say?
That was what they were looking for.
Go ahead and roll insight.
Dirty 20.
320. He looks honestly perplexed at the idea that anyone would want to like steal what is essentially a like, you know, yeah, like a $25 Target necklace, you know. Like it's nice, but it's not valuable. And he's just like he just scratches his head for a second, goes, but why? I mean, if it was a robbery, I gave him 25 gold, and that should more than set them up for whatever they were going for. Why would they want? It's just doesn't make any sense unless they just have no idea what. I mean, they may not be appraisers. I don't know, but that's. Do you think they'll come back? Is that where you're going with
That
this?
is exactly where I'm going with this. It didn't seem like they were planning on stopping. And I don't know why they're fixated on it, but to the point you just made, I thought it was a little strange too that you had just thrown a not insignificant sum of money at them and they were insisting on more trouble even when things started to escalate with the help of my friend.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling me that. I don't. I might actually have some security for the time being. So I don't think they'd be bold enough to do anything during the day, but I would rather not take that chance. No, hopefully, just not to dissuade them. I don't want to any other conflicts. Is it? Huh.
It might be worth considering, Rainier. I know you told me how important this necklace is to you. I know that it holds tremendous emotional value, but it might be worth it to not have it on your person, at least for a bit of time.
You know, it's the damnedest thing. That makes that's a really good idea. It makes a lot of sense. Um, I've made a point to wear it every day since my mother passed away. He like shakes his head and he's like, "Yeah, but there's no. You're right. Maybe I need to lock it up for some time for the time being and just wait for this to blow over."
And I mean, not having it on you, Rainier, doesn't mean your mother's still not close to you.
No, logically, absolutely. It's just you get into a routine, into a habit, or something that kind of helps the day by day, and it's. I think it's a smart move, and we'll definitely do that. And then he like slides a hand across the table and like puts it on top of yours, and just like squeezes your hand and says, "No, I mean it. Thank you. Um, it's I'm glad you told me, and it's honestly just I'm glad you care.
And they turn their hand over so that they can interlace their fingers with his
Oh,
and just say, of course, I care. As soon as I found out, like I said, I knew something was bothering me about that, but I couldn't let another minute go by without warning you about what I'd heard.
he nods. Says, "Yeah, I'll lock it away." Um, when's your when's your rehearsal? Not to, I didn't want to take up too much of your morning, but if you had some time, I wouldn't mind going for finishing our stroll the other day. Seems like it'd be nice.
I still have a couple of hours. I would be happy to take that stroll with you.
Okay. This is a discreet coffee shop that you've picked. Rainier is a bit of a, well, stands out a bit. If you're in roll, I'll take stealth or I think performance to try to blend in to the crowd. And the DC is 15.
I would like to use one of the advantages because I just rolled a nat one.
Ooh, that's free. That's free plot right there. Okay, go ahead and roll again if you'd like.
No, you know what? I'll give you that free plot. I'll give you that free plot.
Here's the juicy.
Yeah, the dice called it.
You're sitting there. You finish up your coffee. You know, you both give each other a look like, "Oh, this is nice again." And then you hear a voice that just says, "Ah, Ben York, staff writer for the Waterdeep Wazoo. Are the two of you in a relationship? Are you Rainier's new fling? What's your name?" And then you actually see, because you look around and don't see this person at first. And then you realize that's because they're almost the same height as the table, as this halfling with like a press cap and a notepad has like kind of circled around and like has almost ambushed the two of you. And has realized that like, holy crap, this is nuts. And just starts like rapid firing questions towards Riv. What do you do?
And so what I'm gonna say is, and I'm sure you'll make me roll again for this, but I'm gonna say that was Riv failing their stealth check. So they're gonna go into performance mode instead.
How about that?
And they're going to keep calm and smile over at Rainier and say, "Well, I don't know, what are we calling what we have?" I mean, it is so soon.
Rainier just gives Ben like a dirty look. And you can see like they are familiar with each other. And Rainier doesn't let go of your hand. He just continues to hold it and just says, "Ben." And he looks at you and he goes, "Riv and I are out on a coffee date. We met yesterday. We enjoy each other's company. We'd like to see where it goes. That's your story. Please leave us be." And looks at you and says, "Is there anything you want to add to that?"
And Riv considers that and says, well, I'm no stranger to what the limelight looks like, but it would be lovely if we wouldn't have our dates constantly interfered with. It makes it so much harder to get to know each other.
I'll take a persuade.
15.
15. Ben sits there and considers what you're saying because it seems pretty clear that like he doesn't give a crap about Rhaenyra's opinion, but like Riv's a person, not a celebrity, right? And just kind of goes, all right, hey, you know what? Right. Sorry for interrupting. I'll just be over there. And goes over, grabs a cup of coffee, and you can hear him muttering to himself, like as he's writing down, like never, Neverember romance flares into flames, like oh no, uh, embers of fire. Come on, you got a deadline, And he's like trying to like find like some sort of gossip piece to talk about as Rhaenyra's like, let's get out of here. And the two of you grab your stuff, head out, and kind of finish your walk, right? Just around like the nicer areas of the South Ward. And I think you just talk about a couple of things. But at one point, Rainer asks you, so why theater? And clearly you said you do how do you phrase it? I'm sorry. It's me forgetting. Like tech or behind what'd you call it? Props.
Mhm.
Yeah. Says, that's me genuinely forgetting. Rainer says, yeah, you said you work on props, and that's an incredible talent. Just, what made you look into that?
It's funny. No one ever really asks me that. They don't tend to care what happens behind the scenes. They care about the action on the stage, and I care about the action on the stage, but there's something really beautiful about being a part of that in a way that others do not fully see. They see the end result, but you move through the stage and backstage and you're meant to be invisible. And I like being a part of that story without being in the limelight.
Not that that says, I think that what you're doing is incredible. And I know I said it before, but there were drinks involved and there's loud music, but I really do want to come see your show. So I will be there opening night.
That's tomorrow.
He chuckles and he says, I'm sure you are, and no sarcasm. I'm sure you are all have everything ready to go.
We'll see if we can convince everyone of that, but I certainly trust everyone involved in this production.
I mean, you're there. What could go wrong? I felt ominous if I say it, but he means it genuinely.
No,
It's a way.
Riv takes that as genuine, and they smile and just say, You make me sound so central to the process, but I'm just another face in the dark.
Well, not at the moment. Like bright sunlight beaming down. And it's around the time you realize like it's getting close to 11. And I think two of you like lean in for another like parting kiss, linger for an extra couple of seconds, and then have to part ways to go catch up with your friends.
This game is a dating sim, and don't you all forget it.
I've lost control of this situation. I'm good with it. Funny enough, I bet really hard on what I thought you were doing this morning. That wasn't it. That's very funny.
I'm gonna have to message you to ask what you thought I was going to be doing this morning.
Every now and then I'll try and like jump a step ahead of a player, and then I realize I am wrong like 90% of the time. But very cool. So the four of you meet up, and looking at my notes again. I apologize. Too many notes for too many places. Two of you meet up in that back alley. You discover that there's an alarmed spell, or at least the components thereof, and there's also a levitation spell on the stone in the alley. Potentially with a trigger word or keyword of some type would levitate up and allow people to crawl below. Further research at the Masons Guild through B finds that there's a sewer line under there. But that alley point is not a official access area. There it is. That's why I have these little markers on. Can't see anything. So that is Lyra's Alley, and the closest legitimate access point is on Wastriel Alley, off of a main road, a couple blocks away. So
I don't remember the timeline exactly. When did B end up getting that information about the?
it was shortly after you went to the back alley. So you're in Lyra's Alley itself. You went through. B identified the alarm spell and the levitation magic that was on that section of cutout concrete, and then B got the idea to go to the Masons Guild and say, what else is here? And then they pulled out sewer schematics for the city and said, because B asked, is there anything underneath? And they're like, yeah, if you're going to dig, there's a sewer system down there. So you got to get a permit to dig down there. Because that's what they thought B was doing, right? Some restoration work, which, to be honest, in that area kind of needs it. But that's how it came to pass that leads to the sewers.
I'm say that I guess Brindle didn't have anything that he really needed to be doing, so he probably went along and just chilled out while B was asking about the stuff.
Oh yeah, the way I'm doing this is like all four of you reconvened. You went to the alley, you went to the Masons Guild. You had this information. Now you're kind of like walking out, armed with this new information, and the rest of your day, plus your crazy mornings.
So we've got some options. We can try to get access to the sewers and try to get down there a different way. We can leave it the fuck alone.
We should see what's down there.
I kind of want to know what's down there.
Hey B, Brindle rummages in a bag, perhaps a backpack they happen to bring along.
Smart man,
and pulls out those two components. He didn't really understand what they were, but thought that B might have a good idea at some point. What were they? The vial with the little glass vial with
little hairs in them.
Yeah, with small hairs,
Mm-hmm.
and the weird amber gel.
Yep.
And I is it? Yes. Oh, maybe the scroll. And the scroll. He'll bring out the scroll too. He doesn't know what the heck that is either. So he's gonna haul these things out and ask. He's gonna hand the small hairs and the gel over to B. Like, do you know what these might be for? Do you think these could end up opening it?
Oh, no. She looks at the scroll. Do I know what this scroll is?
You can
Do the scroll yet?
Oh. I was just talking about this earlier today. This is she'll take out the gel, like dip her finger in it, smell it, like this is gum Arabic, and these are eyelashes.
Oh, that's what they are.
Yeah, itty bitty. And you wrap one of these in this, and if you know how to do it, if you know the words, if you've got it memorized, or if you've got a scroll, you can cast invisibility.
Oh wait, like this scroll? Because I also have this here too. Like, is that what this is? I don't know what this is either.
So fun admin fact. I'm going to nerd out about rules for a second in 5e. Technically, when you create a scroll, you have to have the material components, including material components with costs available during the creation of the scroll, which are consumed by the creation. However, when somebody uses the scroll, they do not need to provide additional components as the cost has already been paid. So it's important for things like yes.
Yeah.
But it's also important for things like resurrection. If you have a scroll of resurrection, like somebody already put 1,000 GP diamond into it, it's good to go. It's loaded.
Okay.
But that's just
cool.
Yeah.
B would that's a thing that B would know that Della Collins did not know. So strike that. B would say, yeah, so if you know how to do the casting, these are the material components too. I can't really think of another reason why someone would be carrying around.
Yeah, maybe it's not related to the cobblestone thing.
Brindle, where did you find those?
There we go.
Hold on a second, because I got the scroll here too, and I feel like it would be important. I think it would be important for me to take a look at this. And maybe, is this at all related?
Where did you find these? B will take
them the other
scroll
night when
and
I was down by the docks.
You found eyelashes.
Did you pick these up and put these into the jar yourself, or did you find the jar? Because
no.
one is okay and one is creepy.
No, no. I didn't go and take anybody's eyelashes and put them in a jar. That's like wizard stuff. I don't really understand that. But
usually we just wait till they fall out and put them in a jar or sell. Yeah, that's still creepy.
But I did come across this backpack, and I had those in it, and I thought maybe it was dropped by those guys. Like, maybe they had taken it, like, something, maybe had something to do with getting it. Was a long shot, but, like, I had no idea what they were for, so, I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, somebody could use these to cast invisibility, or,
Neat. I mean, I can't, but can you?
If you would like to identify the scroll, please give me a DC 12 Arcana check. Knowledge Arcana.
Can do. That was an 11.
Is assisting a thing in 5e? I always forget.
It is. I will ask you how you're assisting, but yes. I'll take shenanigans, but I will ask you how.
I mean, I think aside from like sidling up and seeing, because like Advar has been trying to like teach her things, and I think she like sidles up and she like points out like maybe like a word or something that B missed when she was looking at it.
I'll buy it. Reroll. Yeah, it is the help action, which you can use. So
it doesn't just give me a plus. It just I reroll.
It gives you advantage on the roll.
I see.
Yeah, which is nice. You can use it in combat. You can use it in social situations. The only rule is that I will just ask, like, what are you doing to help?
I was a
sometimes
nat 20, but it was on the floor, so it doesn't count.
Nat 20.
No, it was on the floor. I will re-roll it if you want me to, but it was a nat 20 on the floor.
I'll let it fly because you rolled that one earlier.
How clean was your floor?
Or no, you rolled a 4 earlier. That's what it was.
No, my floor is not
Is it-
clean.
So it's a dirty 20?
Ah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yo, man.
Nat 20 downgrade to a daily 20.
Damn.
No, this is good because I will actually give you some good information here. So, Lavinia points out an additional glyph that like you didn't see as the scrolls kind of. I'm picturing you all kind of like, probably moving to some like park with a gazebo where you have like a little bench and you like roll the scroll and like you all kind of pinning it down. And Lavinia's like, "Hey, hold on, move your hand." And like like another glyph appear. You could see like appears and you're like, "Oh, it's a knock spell." God, yeah, that makes sense. So the knock spell does a couple things. One, it opens doors, right? You go to a door and it's like, oh, the door, box, chest, set of manacles, padlock, other objects that can be locked by any means. You cast knock spell, it opens. It only opens one of the locks on the thing though. So if it's like has like 9 chains on it, it unlocks one of the ones you choose. The other cool thing about the knock spell, and you'd be familiar with this because of the academy, arcane locks go on things all the time. Arcane locks are great ways to keep people out of stuff. The knock spell does not dispel it; it suppresses it for 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, the arcane lock, well, is not there, and you can just simply open and close the object as normal. Which would be crazy if you had like, I don't know, a set of lockpicks to then go after the physical locks that were there as well. You know, this whole bundle just screams thievery. It's crazy.
Like a very powerful spell.
B explains all of this. Just chatter. Says all of it. You get all of the information exactly as it came out of Andy's mouth, but in a much higher pitched voice.
I put the spell description in Brindle's channel as well.
That's interesting. Like it'd be really interesting. Okay, so like invisibility, knock spell. It's almost like they were gonna steal something.
Well,
okay, all right. One other question then. Hold on. What about? And he pulls out the 2 multicolored changing potions that are just
Okay.
like changing colors. What about these, do you think?
What
Where
is
did you
happening here?
find this bag?
bag.
Did you steal that bag from one of the students at the academy? Did a student drop it? Is there somebody's name on tag on that?
No. There was no name. But there are these tickets. But hold on a second.
Wait, there are tickets?
Hold on. But what do we know about these potions? Do you think they could be related to this?
No. Start talking. I'll start identifying.
It's like, okay, wait. So you said you found these last night down at the warehouse?
Yeah. No, not at the warehouse.
Or down at the docks?
Near the docks. I don't really remember exactly where I picked it up, but yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's not the craziest thing somebody has found and turned into like the police somewhere. They find bags of coins and like bloody weapons and weird shit all the time around Waterdeep.
Somebody pulled a.
But this is a lot of shit.
But this is a lot
of
very
full moped out of Baltimore Harbor.
Yeah, like this is just like a very specific set of things.
So this is fine. There's a Brindle pauses and thinks for a moment. He's like, it could have been dropped by that guy that I saw running away from the warehouse.
Lavinia pulls out her notepad again and sits it on her leg, and she's like, the one you described?
Yeah, exactly. Were you like sketching him or
she'd written down like the stuff, and she'd done like a little bit of a note about him.
Oh, and also
it definitely could have been dropped by that guy.
For Lavinia, based on your like experience as a watch officer, everything that you've looked at so far, while not illegal, when combined together, just screams bad. Like there's no question in your mind. Yeah. Like you don't need to make a roll for that. That's just like this is like, someone's planning a crime.
It's like the invisibility spell could just be harmless, fun kid stuff. Could be sketchy. The knock spell, that's a little advanced, a little weird. Everything else you keep just pulling out of this bag, I'm just like, wait, Wait.
Someone's either stealing something or having really weird sex.
Oh. I really, you know what?
What?
So many questions about the knock spell. So the
Sometimes you lose the key. I don't know what to tell you.
Are you speaking
There's a
from
lot
experience?
going on sometimes.
So, back, thank you for another episode of LFTA After Dark.
So, are you speaking from experience, or do you and your partner use ship line?
Okay, once we did that, the chafing unbearable.
Just keep spamming this.
just keep clicking.
We are a dating sim. Leave us alone.
You all need tier. I don't know.
Where's the squirt bottle? So all right. But what about these potions? Do you think?
What about these potions?
Well,
What about these potions?
Labeled, but they're glowing. They change color.
B, you do know that for potions, it would take about an hour to sit down and identify them. You can identify them in a short rest, which includes also, it can be accelerated though, if you want to taste the potion. You can identify it within a minute, if you are bold enough to do so.
Scientific process says no.
Hold on, I need to do a wisdom. I feel like I need to do a wisdom
Lick
check.
the potion. There it is.
I need to do a wisdom check.
Yeah.
I'll do a wisdom
Lick
check.
the potion.
It's the adventurer's conundrum where you're like, well, a short rest is like, we don't really have time for that, but I have all these potions. What do they do? Melts.
Friend, I would like you to know that I rolled a nat 1 on that wisdom check. I'm
Lick the
tasting those
potion!
fucking potions.
I don't think I'm gonna let you do that.
So I don't know that you have. I don't know that you have time. So she probably takes one. What are the two potions?
They're the same, but they just like they change. They're different colors, but they change like color frequency. It's almost like an LED that just like changes from like green to blue to purple to like dark, and then goes light again. They're not in sync, but they're doing the same color pattern change.
Huh.
I'm too busy writing down in my notepad to stop you.
Yeah.
What did you just do?
B disappears. And standing in B's spot is a strange, older looking dwarf with just like a big beard, and like these just real big, deep, dark like eyes, and like it's very jarring. And then suddenly B is gone, and this like burly four-armed dwarf is there, and just lasts for a split second, and then B
Do
reappears.
I notice a physiological change?
You don't. For B, it's just like tastes kind of bitter.
Do we
And, like-
recognize this figure?
Yeah, I was
Nope.
gonna say.
Nope.
No. Oh,
So it's just a
none of this.
generic.
Oh, did something happen to me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like a door for a second.
Yeah.
Big old
Major, this disguised person or
This is the
major illusion?
disguise self.
Disguised self.
And I went with, just it's usually whoever you're kind of thinking of. So dwarf.
That's true. I was thinking about Ollie probably.
Yeah.
Uh.
But didn't have time to fully render, so generic dwarf.
Interesting. So these are both disguised self, which again supports honestly both theories.
Okay then. Okay.
Okay. Well. Okay. Brindle. What about the ticket?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We have this envelope. And it has
Okay.
2 tickets in it.
Uh-huh.
To this gala at the Natural History Museum for tomorrow night.
For
The 20th.
I thought tonight was. Oh, sorry. In 2 nights. Not tomorrow night. That's the opening.
Yeah.
Someone is
Gemstone
definitely
Gala?
going to steal something from there.
the gemstone gala.
The what now? Oh.
My father's been talking about this. He sometimes gets assigned to guard members of the political sphere.
Oh, that's pretty plot.
There's and it was also in the newspaper. Besides, there's a like a really secretive like gala to host like an unveiling of a new exhibit at the museum, all about like wondrous gemstones and things like that.
Oh.
Brindle,
Psst.
what you found is a big, big problem.
No, what he found is actually the solution to the problem because now they don't have it and they're not going to steal shit.
Well,
This is a very this is a very prepared pack.
I
They're
think
going to have a they're going to have a backup plan, or they're
Remember
going
when
to
I
come
talked to
get it.
Lavinia earlier? When I talked to you earlier, I mentioned the guy running away might have been carrying a backpack. He might have had more than one backpack. Just saying.
Well, I guess the advantage here is nothing in here looks murdery. Are property crimes really crimes? Let's talk about it. Sorry, I failed a
Brindle's not
wisdom
prepared
save
to
earlier.
philosophize on this.
Listen,
Sorry, go ahead.
I can't get into the whole nuance with you about this, but I think one of these are not just like private gems. These are cultural artifacts. They're part of the museum. They belong to the people.
Whose culture?
Waterdeep's for one.
Well, okay. I'm not taking this fully seriously. I should take things seriously.
Yeah, I mean they're worth a lot of money, right?
Yes, Brindle. They're worth a lot of money.
That's serious.
But I mean, the problem with stealing cultural artifacts like that is where do you fence them, right? B is using these terms like she knows fucking anything. It is very clearly by the way she's talking that she's just like she has read the newspaper and possibly trashy paperbacks.
That catches Brindle off guard. He might go just a hair paler for a moment there than he usually is.
Anyway, the gala is one part to show off, but it's also supposed to help raise money for the museum. There are like hundreds. The tickets are worth hundreds of dragons. Like this is a big deal.
So what you're saying is we could sell those tickets for hundreds of dragons.
No.
Do we get anything for stopping this person?
I don't know. I don't think there's not a reward because no one knew this was going to happen.
Did we talk them into a reward?
You want to come with me to go talk to somebody at the... I have to go...
Getting a reward for stopping a thievery that they weren't aware of that we've just now uncovered? That should be worth something.
I mean, I have to go... I have to go talk to the captain at the trade ward anyway today. If you want to come with me, maybe you can talk Captain Illyrio into giving you a reward.
I like this idea.
Brindle, I'm going to go ahead and note that I'm pretty sure us stepping in to do this, that's called vigilantism and is generally frowned upon by most police.
It's only vigilantism if you guys decided instead of telling somebody, hey, a crime is going to happen, is if you guys went and hunted this man down who Brindle saw last night. If the two of you went and hunted this man down and beat the shit out of him and then brought him to justice, that's vigilantism.
Now,
okay.
Unless you catch him in the act of the crime and then it's a citizen's arrest.
But
I'm learning.
Not if you're a part of it, Lavinia. Then it's official police business, and maybe you get promoted.
And that makes us cops too.
This is a crazy moment.
No,
I'm gonna
it doesn't.
I'm gonna put an idea in Lavinia's head, right? Because that's a crazy idea. That is just, it's so crazy to think that you could go undercover to this gala and potentially stop a theft. Like that would be insane, to be a violation of so many policies and procedures. But
Unless
it would be one of the biggest cases in Waterdeep history if you caught somebody trying to steal the exotic gem collection, or just even one piece from the National History Museum. A lot could go wrong, but if it went right, man, it'd be hard to argue not putting you back on duty. You'd be a hero.
And think about this. And Brindle interjects that to consider. I mean, if we do bring this to somebody else and we bring it to your captain, wouldn't they just take the credit for it and then they get promoted? Wouldn't it be better if you did because you came across it?
First off, he's not my captain. My captain is back in the South Ward. But this is a very uncomfortable position to be in.
Is it because of your arm?
Bead smacks.
I was going to hit the phrasing button, but never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's not because of my arm. It's oh God. I mean, it could go very wrong. It could go very wrong. It could go very wrong very publicly. My father might be there. I'd have to leave the city if it went wrong.
I mean, not necessarily. Not if you use one of those potions. No one knows that it's you.
Yeah, hey Andy, do I got a bead on how long those potions are gonna last for now that it's been a minute?
I believe 1 hour. Let me take a look.
What
One
level is
hour.
what level's it cast at?
Oh, first.
Okay.
The first level illusion spell.
Probably
but-
wouldn't be enough to last the whole event.
Yeah, so B would say, well, these will only last an hour, but you got 2 of them, so
Mhm.
I mean, this is a very good kit for thieving, but also a really good kit for undercover.
it's true.
Just watching
Here's the
Julia.
problem, though. But here's the problem. Here's a very real problem. I can't cast invisibility.
I don't think I can either.
Do we need it?
Well, if we're not stealing anything, then in theory, no.
And with tickets, you can just walk right in.
Yeah. Well, we only got 2 tickets.
So far.
Unless somebody with a real rich boyfriend, maybe can get some tickets.
I could certainly speak with him again.
I mean,
I can also see if there's work that needs to be done. Day of work. There's always a way to maybe get in there.
Yeah, you can ask your uncle.
Brindle's used to finding odd jobs, right? So.
I mean,
Yeah, you can ask Bolter.
Or you could use one of the tickets you found.
Well, if there's only 2 and we can't get more, I'm just saying that's an option. There's also places that staff can go that attendees can't. So.
Why am I talking like I'm entertaining this?
Because you are.
you're entertaining
Because
this.
it's a good idea.
I think that worst comes to worst. Honestly, the best possible thing that could happen is we go to a party and nothing happens. The most likely thing to happen is we go to a party, we all get distracted by a bunch of silly shit, and nothing happens at all.
And maybe we already got all the stuff that'll keep them from, doing this heist. Maybe everything will be fine.
Exactly.
No big deal.
No big deal. We go to a party, something maybe gets stolen or doesn't get stolen. We go home.
Mhm.
We inform the police that something might happen so that, our asses are covered. But we'll all have tickets or have a reason to be there. So,
I still think that if we inform the police, somebody else is going to take credit, and that it's probably better for Lavinia if she's able to get the full win here.
And I think we would also then be accused of interfering. So
Yeah, there could be a lot there.
that's my concern. Or if something does get stolen and we're not technically invited.
Well,
yeah,
it's not it's not a invite event, it's a purchase your ticket event. So,
Yeah, I get that. I don't want us to get accused of doing a theft.
yeah.
Is
How much do those
is
tickets usually go for?
these tickets don't have names on them.
the newspaper said that they are 100 dragons apiece.
Yeah, nobody would believe we had that money.
Yeah, no one in the world would believe.
Only $10,000.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, 20,000. My bad. Bad math.
Nobody would believe we had that money.
I mean, if we go and there's nobody that we know there, there's nobody there to be weird about it. The only concern I have is if my father's working.
again, that's why you disguise yourself so that your father does not know you are there.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Events are too long for that.
No. I have an idea. I have a really good idea, actually. Slick is really good at stagecraft and knows people who do like makeup and wigs and stuff like that. You can disguise yourself underneath your disguise self spell. That way, when the spell wears off, you're still looking like someone else. And everyone will kind of just so people's visual cortexes are really not as advanced as developed as we would like to think they are. People mostly just see what they expect to see. So once they start to see something, they expect to keep seeing that. It's one of the reasons why eyewitness reports are so like fucked up and not really good for anything. So once people expect to see, I don't know, someone with, you know, dark brown hair of medium height and with, different colored eyes and maybe a slightly different shaped mouth, they're going to fill in those details. So if you're wearing a wig and wearing different makeup than you usually would wear and a different outfit than you would usually wear, we make you a little taller, make you a little shorter, we maybe make you change your voice a little bit with the disguise self spell. You wear the outfit underneath it. After about an hour, no one's going to notice the difference.
There is one problem.
What?
Lavinia's missing arm.
That is, you know what? Maybe there's an easier way to do this. Maybe
I mean,
just
it's not
find out.
insurmountable.
Well, maybe if I just find out if my dad's gonna be there.
That's also true. If he's not working, it
Yeah.
makes things a lot easier.
I think there are a lot of levels of insurance here. Like, it actually seems pretty low risk and possibly high reward for your career.
Oh, you would 100% the paper would make you a hero.
You can't possibly be. You're not the only person missing an arm in the city.
Not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot. Like,
also with a cloak on or something, like a shawl. There's so many things. Like,
Yeah.
people would just pass right over.
Again, not insurmountable. I'm more thinking that depending on either A, we would want to make sure that the person you are disguising yourself as is also missing an arm. Or we would want to make it be less noticeable when that spell wears off. That is my only concern.
The disguise self spell transforms your outward appearance. Your physicality is unchanged. It's not like a polymorph spell. So it creates an illusion of the person you are thinking of. So you can essentially design your own character. You'd have to hold that character in your mind for a while, but you're a warlock, you're a caster, you're used to shit like that. You can do that.
I'm realizing how much I don't know about magic.
I'm going to leave
Seems pretty useful.
I'm going to leave the party with two thoughts as we head into a break. The first thought is for Lavinia, which is, well, it's crazy, but it could work. And more importantly, at this point, nothing illegal has occurred. So there's no immediate compulsion to report this. You could. But it's just a bunch of stuff you found in a backpack. You don't even have a suspect.
The backpack didn't even have a tool set or grappling hook in it.
That'd be crazy.
So weirdly specific.
The second thing is, Riv, it's getting close to rehearsal time. But we're going to take a quick break and come back to that. So we'll get some coffee and do whatever you need to do. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Yeah, it is expensive to do crime in Waterdeep, but
wait, it says only imprisonment up to a 10-day. You beat up a priest and you go to prison for 10 days and that's it. That's ridiculous.
But if you look under what is it, murdering a citizen in Waterdeep without justification. So apparently with justification, it's a whole different story. But without justification, it's exile up to sorry, it's death or hard labor up to 10 years. Damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. Oh, there's a whole other section for if you do it with justification.
You can be exiled. You can
talk about Waterdeep law as we go.
The Code Legal is a wild document.
You can kill with reason if you're ready to accept the punishment.
Well, so speaking of punishment, let's go with that. That's a fun segue. Rib, you have final dress rehearsal before the opening night tomorrow. Do me a favor. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Why?
Just because.
That's a 6.
Okay. No mechanical effect, but you are exhausted, right? Not in the mechanical sense, but just like by the end of this rehearsal, Roberto is just on everyone. He's clearly spent the last 24 hours at this level of energy and had no way to channel it. So every single thing he is just picking apart in insane detail. This rehearsal would probably take about 3 hours from start to finish. It takes closer to 5 because of the interruptions and like how much, and then just how much he has to give notes and feedback for everybody. And there's a point where he's like backstage while people are delivering lines. He's like whispering, yelling at people. It's just like, it is one of those like, oh my God, I cannot wait for this to end. But one thing you notice is that during dress rehearsals, Roberto is usually very particular about who's around. Which is weird that there's some random person sitting in the back watching. You recognize them. They look like their personal assistant who came by the other day to talk to Roberto. And she's sitting in the back with another like very fancy and professional, well-cut like top and skirt combo. That's just sitting there taking notes. And Roberto is never looks at her the entire 5 hours. Just pretends that she is not there. And kind of brings all of you in after the dress rehearsal is done onto the stage. She's like, gather around, gather around, gather around. Listen, I know today's been tough. I know there are a lot of notes, but I believe in my heart of hearts, you already going to fly tomorrow. It'll be beautiful. But we will not get too close to the sun. No, our wings will carry us to a beautiful performance that will shape the hearts, minds, and culture of Waterdeep for years to come. And it's all thanks to you. And he goes through and points to every single one of you. Now, I pride myself on taking feedback. He doesn't. So if anyone has any feedback from the rehearsal beyond the notes I've already put out, please, by all means, let me know. There's just dead silence. And after a couple moments, he goes, well, rest up. Be prepared for tomorrow. Need tech to reset back to 1. Props reset back to 1. Then call it a night. You're all beautiful. And just sachets off. Right? I did put a picture of what the best one I could find of Roberto, I think, in the under Riv's thing. It's just an insane director with a megaphone yelling at people.
Very correct. Yes.
Seemed on brand. But as everyone's kind of getting reset, and you go back and reset all the props to 1, doesn't take you very long. It takes you about 10 minutes. You do an extra double check just to make sure, but you're just like, yup, we're good. Astera's kind of lingering in the back, and she says, do you need any help with anything? Just so we can get out of here and just. I'm exhausted.
Astaire, you should already be heading home to get some rest. You were incredible tonight.
Oh,
I don't know how you did it. I mean, 5 hours is a long time to keep up that level of energy, and it was I couldn't take my eyes off of you, except when I had to grab the props and make sure they were in the right place.
I'd say don't tell Roberto that. He would be furious to hear that you weren't watching the props. But thank you. I gotta say I'm nervous about tomorrow, but I think as she looks around, it's as almost draconian as Roberto has been, I feel like I'm honestly better because of it. And I'm ready for my shot in the limelight.
It is well deserved, Astaire.
Sorry, the comments. That'd be crazy. Who would do that?
Plot of 3 different police procedural TV shows I've watched.
Mm-hmm. She says, "Are you? You said you were bringing your friends to the show tomorrow."
Yes, my housemates.
I can't wait to meet them. And if you like, I can introduce you to my family. They're lovely. I think they would they'd really enjoy your humor.
I would be honored to meet them.
It's like an awkward kind of pause moment. She says, we should head out. And like you notice that very quickly, like everyone else has already cleared out. Like the second they reset everything, got their work done, they just bolted for the exit because Roberto had been known to change his mind and be like, you know what, we're gonna go again from the top. And so they very quickly were just like gone. But it's just the two of you on stage. That personal assistant still sitting in the back, kind of finishing up some notes, and you can kind of hear the shuffling as she's like putting them away and getting ready to leave. She says, "Oh, we better get out of here before we end up having to go again." But you did great today.
The good news is I don't think Roberto will try to run the show with just the two of us. So there is that. At least with the No, we're not. We're not. Stare. We're not even gonna think that. Absolutely not.
She like slowly backing towards the door, comically, but it's like we should get out of here. And the two of you head backstage and head out through the cast entrance, right? And she says, I'm kind of famished. Do you want to get some food?
Honestly, that was a punishing rehearsal. So yes, I could definitely go for something to eat.
Right? I was thinking he packed 3 rehearsals into one day. It was my mind is swimming. Let's
I mean,
go
we
find.
had to make up for yesterday.
That's true. That's true. Let's go find some food. And as the two of you are like walking out from the theater, you know, in, like that nicer part of town, right? You're up in the North Ward, right? Underneath the Shield Maiden statue. If I got my map correct, going from memory. I don't want to say something that's not true. So it's Sword Maiden statue. But you know, it's actually a lovely evening, right? It hasn't quite gotten dark yet. It's like I said, chess, early spring. Days are a little longer. Um, and as the two of you are walking towards one of the like nicer restaurants, she's like, "Oh, this looks great." Um, there's a gentleman in like a tweed suit with like just kind of curly dark hair, dark beard, and like dark glasses, who is walking down the street towards you and actually looks at you and says, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Pointer, may we speak for a moment? I am so sorry. And Astera just gives you a look and says, I'll grab a table.
I was doing a deception check to see if Riv managed to control their expression, and they did. That was a dirty 20.
Okay.
So they just look at Astaire and thank her for that and say, I'll catch up in a few moments.
She heads inside to the restaurant. And the gentleman she's sorry.
May I help you?
Well, at the moment, no, but I think I may be able to help you. So, I'm going to tell you something, and then I will be gone. And if that something is of value to you, well, and he points at a cafe across the street and says, it would be to meet here in the morning for an additional conversation. And if it means nothing to you, then I apologize for wasting your time. As of 15 minutes ago, a gentleman named Vincent Trench has decided through a variety of interesting information that he's discovered, to take a trip to a place called the Sanctuary. He seems to think it's important to some type of investigation, something about a series of crimes. Um, it seems rather serious, but I know none of my business, right? But still. Anyway, I wish you the best with your dinner.
And what exactly makes you think that information might be worth something to me?
Well, I don't. I don't see any reason why Riv would care. Enjoy your evening. And just proceeds to kind of bad, like almost bad posture, like imposing, like slink off.
Riv watches him go and then very much schools their face and heads in.
Roll insight.
I would love to roll insight. That is a 15.
Uh, Nothing seems disingenuous or ominous about that interaction. Right? It didn't ask you for money. Didn't try to extort information that he clearly knew. He just simply gave you a tip and seemed legitimately sorry for interrupting you and Astaire.
That is some comfort, though the
It's still
information he has is not comforting.
oh no, it's still crazy that he just walked up and dropped that. I'm sure alarm bells are going off from Riv's head, but you've met bad people in Waterdeep before. Doesn't seem bad. Weird, eccentric, nervous. Yeah, bad. Yeah.
I can work with weird, eccentric, and nervous. That's fine.
So, you see Estelle through like one of the glass windows, or sorry, Astaire has been seated at one of the tables and has like picked up a menu and is waiting for you there. What's Rip do?
Riv goes to join her.
Interesting. You sit down. There's some nice music playing in the background. She says, "Is everything okay?"
Everything's fine. He was looking for directions.
Oh, okay. I thought that it might be a friend of yours. He seemed to know you.
You pass people all the time. It's hard to know what's a familiar face and what isn't.
Hmm. Well, I did order some wine, and there should be food on the way shortly. Just something to get the. I went with the recommended addition from the waiter. Sounded delicious.
Yes, this is a lovely place.
Uh, she she gives you a look and just says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my treat."
No, no need for that at all. Stare.
Please, I invited you. I don't mind.
Only if you're certain.
It's the least I could do for all the because throughout this rehearsal and these performances, like you have been very, very kind to her and very, very helpful. She says this is literally the least I could do. Thank you for just all the just support. It's You're a good friend. You're a good person.
Stare, I mean, you know as well as I do how cutthroat the world of theater can be. You are a rare person to find.
She like picks up her glass of wine, says, "To rare people and good finds." Clinks the glasses. What's going through Riv's head right now?
Riv has several different thoughts going through their head. First of all, this feels very much like the second date they've been on today. Um, that is definitely something they are thinking about, and what they are going to do when Rainier and Astaire are in the same building together tomorrow. Um, that is certainly on their mind, but now after that interaction in the street, it's a little more background noise. They're just kind of going over that interaction again and again and again.
Okay. How does dinner end? Excuse me.
Riv is probably being a bit more conscious of physical touch between them and Astaire than they usually would be. Like, a lot of times they'll reach for Astaire's hand without thinking. It's not that they're not doing that, but they are trying to be mindful of how physically affectionate they're being towards them, because they're thinking about the fact that one reporter has already seen them today.
Mm-hmm.
And they are probably trying to keep an eye on the crowd at the restaurant and outside of it as much as they can to assess if they're about to be caught on candid camera again.
That's definitely a stress that Riv has as the night goes on. It wanes. No one seems to recognize you. No one seems to bother you, aside from the waiter, who's very attentive but polite. Um, Dinner ends, and you find yourselves outside, and she says, "Well, I know that's too late, but I even with all that food, I just need to go home and recharge and be prepared for tomorrow."
Would you like me to walk you home?
Roll insight.
That's a nat one.
Uh, this is weird. It takes a weird turn. She goes, no, I'll be fine. I'll. It's a nice evening, and I just sometimes I like to just let my thoughts wander while I walk. Thank you though. And it's like it's a real jarring moment when it was like kind of nice, kind of flirty, but yeah. And she like gives you another look and just goes, um, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Astaire. Be careful. Don't let your thoughts wander too far.
And just don't run into any more strangers asking for directions. He seemed nice though, right?
A little strange, but nice enough.
Oh, all right. Well, get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow.
Be safe.
And turns and heads off. That was weird.
I think Rip wants to follow her.
You like stalkers. I love it. Okay, cool. So Riv thinks about it and decides, all right, this is it. I'm going to skip scenes. As Riv kind of shadows into the darkness. Brindle. Right. You all have talked about this crazy idea of heisting the museum, or sorry, counter heisting, right? That because it's you're heroic if you save the day, right? You have a little time to kill in the afternoon, right? You have a setup with Hagen to meet him tomorrow to get paid. He's going to take care of that, right? You and Lavinia have an option to go talk to this captain she talked about in the trade ward. But based on where you all just were, you're going to have to pass kind of by the boarding house in like an upward circle. You could go directly straight, but the high road is actually one of the fastest ways to get north to the trade this trade ward.
Wait, where are we going now? Because I don't think Brindle's super into the idea of going and talking to that captain now. If we can avoid that, because it's a much better idea, obviously, to go and
Lavinia will point out. Lavinia will just explain that she was going to go talk to him before all this happened, so it doesn't really matter.
Although Brindle does need to go and check in, I think, with Kemp, right, up in the north area.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, definitely he does have a reason to head up there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so yeah.
Y'all could travel together for a little bit. The question I have though is, since you're close to the Good Times boarding house, do you stop there for lunch before you head out, or do you just grab food on the way?
Really? That's a good question. See, normally Brenda will be all about scrounging around the common area for whatever free food people might have provided, eggs perhaps. But in this case, he's got 50 gold kind of jangling around in his pocket, and lunch.
Wait, 50? Hold on. How'd you get what?
Wasn't it 50? 10?
10.
You got
It was 10. I was like, oh, I didn't give you that much gold. I'm not solving all your problems, just the problems for the month.
Got it. 10.
Still a lot of money, though.
Still a lot of money. Yes, some significant amount. I don't know why I thought 50. So,
Kemp also give you money?
Second.
I'm checking my notes, but I thought Kemp also gave you like something.
Kemp said he'd pay him if he could ID who was actually stealing from him.
That's what it was.
Oh, if I could identify exactly who was stealing from him?
If he said you can get down there and identify like who the hell's taking my shit, I'll pay you. I said he'd pay you 5 gold.
Nice. I forgot about that. Okay. I'm Brindle then. So, all right. Then, yes. Awesome. Yeah, okay. I do think Brindle might actually be okay with grabbing food on the way. If that's something, like if Lavinia's interested in that. Yeah, like, hey, Lavinia, do you want to grab something for lunch on the way up? Uptown?
Sure, we can grab something. There's a couple of little like delis that are along the way that are pretty good.
Oh yeah. I know we don't have a whole lot of time. We could always like just grab a sandwich and keep going or whatever. But like I feel like I haven't had a meal out in a while. Like, sounds like a good plan. I'll follow. I'll take your lead on these delis. I don't think I've tried one in Waterdeep yet.
Yeah, take him probably to one that's like in between the boarding house and like where Lavinia would normally turn off to go down to her station house, probably like one that she's used to go like stopping at like on the days when she doesn't feel like going all the way back to the boarding house for lunch or anything. Stop in there and get some sandwiches.
Yeah, they got sandwiches ranging from like 2 to 5 nib, which yesterday was a crazy amount of money, and today it doesn't seem that bad, you know?
Not that bad. Brenda will still only splurge on the 2 nib, but it's still a splurge.
Yep. Got a little sandwich. Lavinia grabs one as well on the way. Lavinia, I think this is the first time you've ever seen Brindle like eat out somewhere.
I don't know if she thinks that's weird. This is kind of the first time that
Yeah.
she's seen Brindle in the daytime.
Very good point.
She usually sees him like very early in the morning when he comes and eats the leftovers she makes for breakfast, or late at night if she happens to be like downstairs like doing something when he like leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that weird at all? Two of you grab food. You head up the high road. Takes you about 45 minutes to get up there, unless you wanted to call a cab. But it's not too long of a walk. And then eventually, Lavinia, like you're in the trade board. A fun note. No, never mind. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you reach the trade board, and the two of you are about to part ways. I thought you'd be closer to something on the map, but you're not, so I'm not worried about it.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything else that you needed about that, like the whole warehouse thing beforehand? Because I'm gonna go talk with the owner about it and everything. But
No, I'll make that report. I have to actually go back to the dock ward station to make that report. I'll do that when I circle back. I will, since we can't prove that the backpack that you found was related to the guy you saw run away, I won't put that in the report for now, but I think the only thing that'll matter is if you
but
can let
I did think he was running away from the warehouse, though.
you do think he was running away from the warehouse. I'll add that in with his description. I think the only other thing is if you can ask Kemp to come down to the dock ward station house later just to confirm the final value of what was stolen. We have
Yeah. Okay.
we have
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
manifest, but if he can confirm that with the station,
Sure.
that's all that'll really matter.
Yeah, I'll relay that to him. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, this has actually nothing to do with that. I meant to ask B about it. It kind of got away from me. I can ask her about it later. This is about a murder.
Oh, that sounds important.
I think it is. Apparently, Trade Ward decided 5 days was long enough before it became a cold case.
Oh wow, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's extremely weird. It's kind of why I'm here.
Andy, would Brindle have heard anything about the Zentarum perhaps having the guy on their payroll or anything along those lines?
Heard anything about that? No, but can you try to dig for that? Sure.
Immediately, but as far as this conversation goes, it was like hey, is this something I heard about this guy before?
Okay. You know this much. Anytime you've gone to see Walter, his office is just filled with what one would call organization calendar notes and otherwise ledgers, what an officer may call evidence of crimes. But the bottom line is he seems to be very knowledgeable about like all the shady shit that Zentarum is doing. And anytime you walk in there, is very quick to like close books, cover things, and very clearly like kind of keeps that separate from you.
I know he likes it when I walk in without knocking. It's like our thing now,
right? But if anybody knows anything about that, it could be Walter. Geraldine's also an option, but just depends on who you think you either have best rapport with or who you think you can glean that information from without pissing them off.
Okay, I'll put in that for the moment. But okay, all right. So, but as far as the scope of the conversation goes, yeah. That's you see like Brindle think for a moment, trying to as he's pondering like whether or not this guy could be related to his like family situation with the Zentarum. But anyway, kind of comes back to the conversation. It's like, yeah, that's really weird. Is this something that keeps happening, or is this like really abnormal? Like, I don't really understand how the watch works. So.
It is not a murder going unsolved is not unusual. Them deciding to stop looking for a murderer after 5 days, that seems a little that's the weirder part.
Has that ever happened before?
I don't know about ever.
It happens on
didn't
occasion,
use
but it's usually very uncommon.
I wasn't always watch. I was actually part of the guard. This is different. This is new for me still, in a lot of ways.
I didn't realize it was. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was actually like difference. I just thought it was like different parts of the watch. Like,
no.
Oh, okay.
No,
that's cool. Do you get in a lot of fights?
I did.
Let's see. I think it sounds exciting. Where I'm from, everything is really dull. Like there isn't a whole lot going on. Being a guard in Waterdeep sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. And then Brenda looks a little sheepish for a moment because he realizes that he just talked about how cool your old job was and how you're not doing it anymore. So anyway, I gotta go run up to and talk with Kemp and let him know that you could use a statement about the value of the goods that were stolen. And I'll fill him in with like everything else that that we found out down there. So cool. I mean, good luck with the captain thing and your 5-day-old cold case murder. That sucks. But good luck with it.
Thank you.
And Brenda waves and just heads off.
So, Lavinia, as you're heading down to the station, it's Captain Irelli?
Advin Irelli.
Irelli, thank you. You're a couple blocks away and you actually hear a commotion. A lot of people like cheering and applauding. It's a big deal. And somebody who has some sort of magically amplified voice is saying, and now to dedicate the new Trade Ward School, we're going to ask Captain Advin Relly to come up here and cut this ribbon, being a wonderful public servant that he is and all the good that he's done for the community. Please come on up here. And you see Captain Irelli go up, and everyone applauds. He's in his very nice uniform, and he claps as well, and then he just kind of waves a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, thank you everyone for coming. Look, I know that everyone thinks that the watch is just running around and trying to keep everyone safe, and we are. That's a very important part of our job. But also, it's not just about." It's about growing the community. It's about making sure that we're reinvesting back into the people that live here, not just as protectors, but as public servants and citizens as well. This is our city, and we want to make it better. Now you see like there's some kids as well in the crowd because this is like a like a middle school, elementary school kind of thing. And he's like, now I could go on about policies and civic duty and the way we need to. Oh. The way we really need to the way we need to be kind to one another. But I wanted to leave some time for the Waterdeep Watchdog Choppers. Come on up here. And you see a person who is dressed with like the Waterdeep like watch sash, but they're actually like dressed like a hound guardian who comes like right up on the stage and like starts bounding around, and it's like, you know, everyone knows that Chopper does what, and the kids in the crowd just say, he takes a chop out of crime. He takes a chop out of crime, kids. Stay in school, stay in school. Hey, if you want to take a photo with Choppers, come on up. Just form a line over here. And Chopper's just running around this stage. Definitely not. Legally distinct difference. Everyone just claps and cheers, you know, and like the crowd starts to disperse a little bit. He's going around shaking hands and talking to people, and then turns and sees you there, and goes, "Oh, Lavinia, what a surprise! To what do I owe the pleasure?"
Willis
She comes.
Salstorm.
His face kind of falls. Like, so you're not here about the new school?
No.
Oh, all right. Look, give me a minute. Let me wrap up here, and we can talk. Okay?
Absolutely. You finish whatever this is.
I mean, he walks out and just like high fives a few more people, and then of course is like gets the chant going again. He does what? He takes a job out of crime. Ah, excellent! And, like, you know, handing out like little Waterdeep badges and everything, and like talking to the families. And eventually, about 20 minutes later, the crowd starts to die down, disperse, because you can only keep a school opening hyped up for so long until like people get their photos or the people get their time with, you know, good old chompers, and then move on. And eventually he comes walking back up and he goes, "All right,
That was incredibly dignified.
oh, it's part of our new civic outreach program.
Uh-huh.
Works wonders. Crime in the trade district is actually, or trade ward is actually dropped almost 15% since, minus a few incidents that have occurred. But people like it. We're inspiring both people to do better in their communities, and of course, always looking for watch officers of tomorrow." But that's not what you want to talk about.
Not.
Like, as you guys are walking back to, you know, the trade ward district office, he goes inside, kind of waves to everyone like, "Hey," you know, checks in on a few people, and then kind of ushers you back to his office and closes the door. Um, usually around the office, it's got just plaques, right? Commendations, awards, you know, civil servant, just no, like, what do you call them? Yeah, awards, right? Just like this amazing wall of like a history of someone who's done like a lot of good publicly for the city. Um, and he says, "Can I get you anything to drink? Coffee, water, tea?"
No, I'm fine, thank you. I
Okay.
ate on the way here.
Oh, okay. So, I guess talk business first, and then I guess we'll catch up a bit. I haven't seen you in quite some time.
I'm stuck behind a desk. So,
Understandable. All right, Salestrom, you want to talk about?
5 days, Adven?
Not my choice.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm assuming it also wasn't your choice to black out 2/3 of this file.
No, that one, followed procedure, filed it, went up the chain, caused a bit of a ruckus.
With who exactly?
Because I'll be honest, shouldn't tell you this because I know you're not on investigative status. Technically, it's a breach of policy. But between you and me, it's has me concerned as well. This went up to council. One of the
Whole
lords
council.
one of the lords on the council ordered it closed. Now, I don't know who, but that's 5 days. That's something's not right there. Hell, Simonetta barely knew about the murder before it was closed. He's referencing Simonetta Two Edge, the Warden of Waterdeep, right? Like the actual person in charge of the entire watch. He's like, yeah, but like she barely knew about it. Maybe a couple hours before got the order to close the investigation.
So why did they go halfway on it then? Why did they just redact it and close it? Why didn't this file just disappear? Although I guess technically it kind of did disappear. I don't know why a trade ward file ended up on my desk down in the South Ward.
Redaction policies are common. Early closures are common. Missing files attract attention. My best guess is that someone knew what they were looking at, closed it, and wanted people to forget about it. And with all this, gestures towards the newspaper on his desk with this, blood in the streets and Tarum fighting, with all this happening, with everything else going on in the city, news moves on, falls by the wayside. They bury it in file review. Again, none of this is standard. I shouldn't be telling you any of this, but it's a concern. It really is. I spoke to your father about it.
What did he have to say?
He was outraged.
Do you think
So
he knows who closed it?
he said he's going to try to look into it. If anybody can get an answer, he's got enough enough status, right? But don't want to be too noisy about these kind of things either, right? Fine line to kind of walk. Get the people who are going to close an investigation and simply throw it out over a honestly pretty brutal murder. I don't think those people are playing around.
What I'm worried about, especially with the way this is closed early, is this was an extremely brutal murder for it to be a random killing of a citizen. It wasn't a mugging because nothing was taken. So either something that Solstrom was working on is now at risk because nobody followed up on it, or other people Solstrom worked with are at risk because nobody followed up on it. Did you have anybody follow up on what he was working on his team? Did you speak to anyone at the Masons Guild?
I went for one follow up. Very awkward encounter. I had some assistants assigned to me through Force Grey. And he pauses, like, in this, like, get roll insight. You'd like.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a 16.
You see he's legitimately concerned about what he's about to say. Salesform came from the city of the dead.
That's the dirt that was redacted in the file.
I matched that because I thought it was very. There were so many places that he could have come from with what he had on him. Looked like grave robbing, right? But I went to investigate further, was assigned some special consultants who did more to hinder what I was working on than anything else. And after that, I was very quickly told that since the case was closed, there was no reason to further investigate, and I needed to drop all investigative lines of effort to focus on open and ongoing cases.
So Solstrom gets nothing.
At the moment, no. But I'm not done with this case file. I just have too much scrutiny on me at the moment. When that cools down, a few things I'd like to follow up on.
Well, do you hear anything? Or I hear anything? We'll do this again sometime.
As you're reaching for the door, he does say, you know, I wouldn't say this unless things were, well, they're bad. At least in this case. Lavinia, I mean this in the nicest possible way. Nobody's watching what you're doing because nobody cares about cold cases.
As a cold case myself, I care very much.
Good to see you.
You too. Say hi to my dad for me. You'll probably see him before I do.
He did ask about you.
Well, you can tell him you saw me. I'm alive. Healthy. I still hate you. We're all good.
Yeah, that's fair. He does miss you.
He knows exactly where I am.
Hey, on your way out, if you want to take a look at the Chomper's costume, that was pretty clever. Put it all together. Kids love it.
It's truly your finest work.
Hmm? I'm thinking about, hey, we're thinking about doing the Southboard next.
Mm, you know, I think we're all a little too busy for that. We don't have any we don't have any unpaid interns or brain dead rookies to stick in a suit. So you can keep it.
Let me know if you change your mind.
Mm.
Good luck out there. And you head out of the station.
She does not say goodbye. She just leaves.
But yeah, interesting bit of information there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end with B, and then I'll pick up with Brindle next session because there's some other shenanigans I want to mess with you. B, the idea of like this counter heist is wild to you, but in the back of your head, you can just hear Volo just like basically wordlessly screaming at the idea of this like amazing opportunity. It's so cool.
It sounds bonkers.
Yeah, like
I'm in.
it'd be insane. But you know what, man, this is the kind of shit that like people write about. And you're heading back towards the academy because you had like a quick like check in with Professor Corbett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to a little coffee lounge and 5 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass. I think about 20 minutes. Doesn't look like Professor Corbett's showing up.
This is just after their office hours. Maybe they got a student got caught up on something. I'm going to go to their office.
You get to the office. The door's locked. You knock on the door, no answer. You open the door's locked.
Huh.
The Volo yellow.
Polo YOLO.
Ooh. The
New
Brindle
merch
swindle and
idea.
the. Mm-hmm. There's a keyhole.
I don't know how to pick locks.
No, but you can peek through one.
It's true. I will do that.
Roll perception.
Cool. Where'd my die go? How do I do this every time? Okay. I use an advantage.
Yeah.
How
Mark
many
that
do we have
down.
left?
You're down to 7 now.
Down to 7 now? Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
because I just got a where's my sheet?
Then at 1.
No, it's a nat 4. So it would have been a 6. Wait, do I have proficiency in perception? No, I don't.
Say wizards usually don't.
No,
They're
I
not
have
very
to add that
perceptive.
in. Yeah. Okay, that's much better. That's an 18.
Cool. You look up and down the hallway. You don't see anybody around. It's later in the afternoon at this point. Like most people that are students are gone. Most people that are professors are trying to leave by like 4. Right.
I would do it anyway, even if there was somebody around.
Fair enough.
Like-
But that 18 gets you, a little privacy. You're looking through the keyhole. You see a bare desk, empty shelves, and just a lonely chair. No personal items, no photographs, no papers, no odd bobbles and ends. Looks cleaned out.
Oh, you know I'm cast to detect magic about this.
Okay. Cast detect magic. There's no trace of magic affecting this area. This is not an illusion.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm gonna go to public safety.
Okay. Walk around for a little bit. Eventually find one of the public safety people. There's usually one out in the lobby.
Hi, I was just talking earlier today to officer oh, what's his name? Really tall, built, not to be offensive. I mean, everybody's tall compared to me, but built a little bit like a fridge. Kind of got that prize fighter look to him. Scars on his nose. I can't recall his name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Carson?
Carson. Yes. Um, have you seen him today? Oh, do you know where he might be? Where I might find him?
He's busy with something. I had to fill in for him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Anything I can help you with?
No, I just wanted to talk to him about something that we saw earlier.
Yeah, no, he got I don't know, he got something to do this morning and I've seen him since.
Oh, something from Professor Corbett?
I don't know. He said it was important. Asked me to sit at the desk.
Oh, okay. All right. Uh, interesting. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll check back, I guess, later. And then she's gonna go. I guess she's gonna go talk to Rory.
Okay. Yeah, good luck. Hope you find him.
Yep.
Um yeah, Roy's you walk in and you are greeted by like just a hail of sparks just shoot across the office as Roy very quickly is like covering some sort of pot that's like smoking and she's like damn. Oh, hey B, didn't see you there.
I
Sorry.
installed a fume hood for you.
Hey, look, I had an idea. It was a moment of it's fine. It's
I
all
get it.
it's under control.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. It's not like the building can burn down, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So you know Professor Corbett?
Yeah. We're friends.
Your friends. Your friends. Do they like use their office here?
I mean, yeah. I mean, most, yeah. Looking for an
So
office? Is that
no. So
okay?
earlier
Because Professor
today.
Corbett has like just probably a cart full of books in there. Like it'd be a mess to try and move. I can find you an office though. Like if you need more space, um, that's not a problem.
Our office is fully empty, and they were taken away by a public safety officer earlier today. Not taken away, like arrested, like went to a meeting, and they said they were gonna meet me, uh, and we were gonna talk about illusions and stuff, and um, now they're gone. And their office is empty, and by empty, I don't mean like they're not there. I mean empty, no books, clean desk, no nothing, and
Uh,
I I know I uh also the public safety officer fully threatened me if I to not tell anybody
what?
about this conversation. So
Who?
uh shit, what was his name? Carson.
I'll fuck him up.
Oh no, I will ruin his whole life. Like I will like I'm fully prepared to ruin his day. But I was not I wasn't gonna say anything because it's like okay, it's their business. Um But yeah, now their office is fully empty that fast. This was this morning. This was like 10 a.m., 10:30. This
Yeah,
conversation.
not the first time someone's had to go somewhere real quick, but that doesn't sound right at all. Um,
Yeah, people go places, but there's. I thought at first maybe it was like literally an illusion, like, oh, I'm gonna make my office look real clean, for people.
mm,
But you know,
yeah,
that's what
that'd
I
be a corporate
do.
move.
But no, nope.
Who is the professor supposed to meet with?
It was in fact the black staff, was it not?
Oh yeah.
Uh black staff, who I also saw booking it out of here the other day, looking real nervous. So something is going on. Something is going on, and I don't know what it is, and I suspect it's way above my pay grade.
Hey, what? Let's go up there and talk to him.
I feel like I worry that that might be a really great way to wind up with our offices empty.
Look, there's clearly a reasonable explanation as to why Professor Corbett's gone. Right. I don't want to start jumping to conclusions. We could
I'm
just
not
ask him.
I mm, okay.
If it makes you more comfortable, I can just go up there and talk to him and just ask him about some things I heard. I won't mention your name.
No. I want to go. I would want to go. I want to go with you. I'm nosy as hell. I don't want to. I want to know. I just worry that I'm gonna, you know, I have concerns.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure out what this is. And gets up and grabs a couple things, just throws like a satchel over her shoulder and starts heading out with you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna wrap up here because I said I'd come back to Brindle starting next session. Um, I want to ask a quick round actually of just what's everyone's characters thinking right now after these like events.
I'm gonna get expelled. I'm gonna get my scholarships taken away. I am gonna get dimension doored somewhere stupid. This is just this every dumb possibility is running through my head.
Okay, what's going through Lavinia's head right now?
So she's like thinking about the Solstrom case, but also like the whole like counter heist thing. And if she's really gonna go through with this going on in her head, and if she does go through with it, how much does she actually care if her father knows that she's there? Like she's trying to do the math of like, if I just go to the gala, like it's a public event technically if you have a ticket. So like, what is he gonna do? He can't actually do anything to me if I show up, except ask me where I got the money in order to show up.
Yeah, that might get awkward.
And then it's like I could make something up. I could tell him, I don't know. I could guilt him. I could tell him the city donated it to me because they won't pay for my fucking spell to get my arm back. Use that. I could lie to him. I could lie to my father.
Yeah. I'm going to quote Eddie from the other podcast when Stan was talking and be like, "Hey, can you not tell my dad?" It's like, well, it depends. Like, is this a family matter? Am I lying to your dad or am I lying to a cop? Because I don't want to lie to your dad, but I'll lie to a cop all day long.
If you lie to my father, you're not lying to a cop. You're lying to somebody with a lot more pull than a cop. You're
That's true.
lying to a senior cavalier and a Valabar.
Yeah, that can be dangerous. Fair enough. Let's go through Riv's head.
Riv keeps finding themselves in situations that they'd really rather not be in, ranging from a surprise romance that is getting way too much attention. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the boy.
Cat.
He just jumped up and closed all my windows.
But they are very much stuck on the message that was given to them in that alley because that suggests to them that their activities have not gone unnoticed and that someone is drawing connections
Mm-hmm.
between parts of their life that they were pretty sure were completely disparate. And so they want to address that.
Yeah, how did it
They
feel
also
hearing? Sorry,
they
go ahead.
also want to make sure that Astaire gets home safe because that was weird.
That was weird. How does Riv feel about hearing the name Vincent Trench dropped?
I did want to ask, do they recognize that name?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, 100%. That's in the Milanote file.
It
Like,
is. Yeah.
that's someone that like Riv knows who the fuck that motherfucker is.
Oh yeah. No, then like that was, a bucket of ice water being dumped over them to hear that name.
Okay. Let's go through Brindle's head right now. So you get a lot of moving pieces.
Pure excitement. Pure excitement. Brindle's never okay. Where to start? Just found out that there's like an underground passage that he discovered recently that they're going to be able to go down and explore the sewers. Perhaps, maybe if we can get the thing open. There's going to be there's an impending heist of some sort that's going to happen. There's an inn with an area where there's a lot of jewels that can be stolen or stop somebody from stealing, or if there happens to be the right opportunity, maybe get his hands on something that would propel him forward and maybe gain a little bit of notoriety within the Zatarum, perhaps. Pure, what's it called? Wow, what is the word I'm looking for? But anyway, yeah, people might like him more. So he's going to go talk with Kemp. He's excited to go and talk his way into a few more gold, perhaps, from Kemp for doing that job for him. That was a lot of hard work to track down and try to find out who stole those goods. So that could be his at some point here. He's very excited about that. Let's see here. This is very different from farm life. So like he's had a whirlwind of a couple months trying to like work his way up and like figure out how the heck to city. This is like cherry on top of the whole thing. Like never in his wildest dreams did he think after being here a couple of months he might be potentially involved in caper where they can either catch and or participate in a heist this big. This is good stuff, and he's all in for this. So there is very little other than just some pure excitement going on. He wasn't sure what was going on with that stranger. He took the money from him, let the stranger go. But on the other hand, now everybody seems to be also interested in who the stranger is and what they might be up to. So that kind of helps solve the problem of, did I just let somebody go by? What might happen from that? Well, I got the 10 gold and we might find out what's going on with that. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to be excited about. Brindle is brimming with excitement.
I like that. Well, as we kind of fade out from, all right, where's my thing? Kind of fade out from all the chaos of all the other players working their way through these different aspects of their lives. We zoom over to the North Ward of the city, right? By the Museum of Natural History, where there's a cart being backed up to a loading warehouse. And a couple workers used to say, a little more, a little more. Okay, stop. You're good. You know, things fall in place, a back door or a back access. God, what's what I'm looking for? Cargo door opens, and very large crate is pulled out. Two people carrying it out of the side, multiple labels on it saying, warning, caution, fragile, handle with care. Do not touch. And the two of them are carrying this crate. Heading deeper into the museum and sit down, the curator rushing over. Any issues with the delivery? After all, we have 2 nights to get ready for the gala. Said, no, no, ma'am, it's good to go. Just please open it. I'd like to see it. Pry bars hit the crate, splinting the wood. Curator reaches in these gloved hands and holds up a large, glowing green gem, almost the size of a watermelon. She says, I've been looking for this for a long time. We're going to make history with that gala. And that's session for tonight. Let's go around and get a little outro from people as we get prep for future shenanigans, right? We do a D4 last time. Let's roll a D8 and then let's divide that by 2. That seems like fun. 5 divided by 2. That sounds like Bedlam.
Okay. So I have been so I am Bedlam. I have been Brindle. We're gonna find out what happens next time with potentially this heist. I'm looking forward to see what happens at Rip's show, and what's gonna go on with that. So anyway, that's really it. I'm not in any other games. This is it. If you want to see me, I am here. Come see me here.
Heck yeah. Della.
Hi, I am Della. I have been B. You can find me here. My schedule is much more full than it usually is. So you can find me back here this coming Sunday on Academy H, where I will be playing the pale flower that blossoms on the battlefield, also known as Emissary, who is, she's just fun. I will then be back on Thursday the 11th for Redacted. I will then be back on Saturday the 13th for Ward H, playing the everybody knows that a superhero squad is 4 punk rockers and a fish goddess. I'm playing the fish goddess. And then I'll be back here on Thursday for another episode of this game. The Thursday after that for another episode of this. So
Holy
that's
cow.
where I'm at.
And then MagFest.
Oh yeah, and then I'll be at MagFest. And you can find me at MagFest. I will have my spinning wheel parked somewhere and probably will be hissing at people as they pass.
Baba Yaga activities.
Incredible. JD.
I'm gonna have a very normal time.
I don't know how you expect me to go after that, Andy. I
It's a hard act
don't
to follow.
know. Hi, I am JD. Tonight I have been Riv, whose past and present are colliding in some unfortunate ways, but it is fine. We're not going to worry about it. You can find me in a lot of things that are coming up. I will be with Exquisite Corpse Presents for more D&D adventures in Sister Cities this coming Saturday. We are finally returning to our non-magical D&D setting that is currently a magical D&D setting because we are in a video game. It is an experience, and you can see me playing my angsty goth bardlock who plays a violin in that. I will then be back here on Sunday for Academy H, where I play Casimir Bright, who uses death magic and is doing so good and is totally fine. We're not going to worry about it. And then I will be with Lost Caravan next Wednesday for the first session of our miniseries of Cottages in Cerberus, a cozy adventure game that is Animal Crossing meets Monster Hunter. And I am unsurprisingly playing an angsty goth boy who has way too much power contained in his body and causes destruction everywhere he goes in this very cozy, lovely game. And then I'll be back here on Thursday to run Redacted. So it'll be a fun time. It'll be a packed next couple of weeks.
Heck yeah. Julia.
Hello. Sorry, I'm distracted by
God.
this happening next to me. Hi, I'm Julia. I am Hexbot on all social media platforms. Today I was Lavinia Hale. Sunday I will be Lyra Kroll, who is the leader of Squad H. They're going through some things. She's confident that they can claw their way through it. I am personally very, very excited for Blossom to be there because Blossom is personally my fucking favorite. And then every other Tuesday, I am back with Class Reunion as Kelly Violet, who is just trying to keep everyone else alive. That's kind of like all she cares about right now. That's it.
All right, and I'm Andrew. I run this game and probably put way too much time and effort and thought into it, but you know what? It seems to be coming together, so I'll take it. If I'm not doing this, I'm running Veil Breakers, which is our big action, high budget, quote unquote. It's great when the budget's the mind, right? But they're all just chucking fireballs and like fighting liches and kicking the shit out of demons in like a very action-packed adventure game. And then if I'm not doing that, playing Eddie Fangor on Cryptic Community College, who's my fun conspiracy theorist podcaster, but friendly, not terrible, and is just willing to believe in anything from Bigfoot to UFOs to his friends. And with that, I'm going to start to wrap up here. Thank you all for the donations. I noticed that we hit 110 US dollars. Sorry, it always threw me at the other one was in Canadian money, but yes, we had $110 tonight, so thank you for everyone who donated. I'm tracking 7 adventure points. I have to just change that, so if anybody else has a different number, double check me to keep me honest, but I'm tracking 7. With that said, we're going to raid some people. Except he's from Jersey. Yeah, Eddie Fangor is from Jersey. With the accent that kind of wanders, like you do. We're going to raid some people. And we're going to raid Gnome Annie. If they are still streaming, let's take a look. I'm playing some D&D last I checked. All right, looks like they're still going. So pop on in, say hello, and we'll follow and stick around if you have some time. Otherwise, just share the love and have a great night. You're going to see some thanks for watching screen music, and then the raid will begin. So with that, everyone. Oh, God. I was going to have a really cool sign-off line that I thought of, and then I just completely blanked on it. We're doing fine here. Have a great night. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Bye-bye, everybody.